Gods Meltdown, and today I am joined by.
Simon Marwood from Fatal Vision, coming in from Canada.
It's great to be chatting to you today. I'm totally enjoying your new album, Three
Oh,
Times
wonderful.
Lucky. How anxious or impatient are you waiting for its release?
We're keen to get it out. We usually have a record every summer, and this one was delayed to the fall, and our video plans got disrupted as a result of that because we're very precise about when we release our singles and our videos. So, yes, it will be very good to get it out. It's quite a bit different from the first two, so we're very keen to see what the reaction is.
Brilliant. There's some amazing collaborations on there. You've got Paul Lane, F. Scott Soto, and Joe Orchestra. And I
Yep.
hope that they might join you on the road sometimes. To appearance.
I have, yeah. Well, hmm. It's funny you say that. So, yeah, a couple of things. I actually met Jeff for the first time this summer in LA. I have a side band from Fatal Vision, which will be getting rolling with our album probably coming out in 2025 sometime, which is an all duets band called Lost and Found. So it's me, Christine Corliss, who I sing with all the time on pretty much everything. And then playing on the record with us, we have Phil X, Alessandro Del Vecchio, Leland Sklar, Ron Wixo, and Mark Holdham from Boulevard. And Paul does the backing vocals on that.
Right.
So I'm quite close to Alessandro, and one of the things that we have been talking about is a possible touring festival of sorts next year, late in the year, which would have 4 or 5 different bands with him, Fatal Vision, and some other folks, some of whom you may have mentioned earlier, but it's a bit too soon for
Right.
me to give you details.
Okay, no worries. Um, and Endless Emotions that features an orchestral arrangement by the Casca Orchestra, and it's a fabulous piece of work. My girlfriend's actually Ukrainian, so she might
Mm,
know who they are. To mention this to
yep.
her. So, how did that come about? Getting them to work with you?
So that Alessandro is very connected to just about everybody in the industry. And so when
Right.
I came to him and I said, okay, I've always had this vision that this Endless Emotions is sort of the big opus, rhapsody, whatever, grand finale to really to this trio of albums. And I wanted to throw the entire kitchen sink at it. So we
Right.
wanted the orchestra, we wanted the choir, we've got flute, oboe, saxophone, multiple guitar solos, all this sort of stuff. And Alessandro was connected to the Casca Orchestra and reached out to them, and they came back very quickly. And I mean, the performance they do is fantastic. I've got video footage of them as well from when they recorded the track for us, and it was the 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 ability to perform under pressure and with everything that's going on over there. I mean, there were some weeks that we'd get emails from them saying, listen, we're really sorry, but can we delay getting the tracks back to you until
Yeah.
next Tuesday because the power is out and the gas has run out in the generator.
Yeah.
And it's heartbreaking, but the level of professionalism and I mean you can see in their faces as well while they're playing the music that they love doing what they're doing,
Mhm.
and I'm so thrilled that we were able to get them on the record.
Cool. That's brilliant. The album has 15 tracks. That's quite a brave decision in the world of Spotify. I mean,
That is true.
mhm.
We I have copious amounts of material that just keeps coming and coming and coming. I mean, the next record, I think, which we just finished the demos for, has again 15 or 16, I think, and we usually have 2 or 3 standalone singles that come out during the year. Uh, it's very tempting in this day and age to just try and chase numbers or chase people's approvals on review sites or whatever. Uh, I spent so long not doing music, and then during the pandemic, we were so locked down that we just keep going and going and going. I mean, Sunday night we're about to have our wrap party for our cast for all the videos, which has now grown to 20 people or something,
Right.
and then we're laying low for a few months because the holy hell of winter will descend here.
Yeah.
But then we're going to ramp right up again, and we've found a way, uh, especially with the video, and it's starting to become unclear to me whether the videos are marketing the music or the music's marketing the videos. I mean, the videos regularly get 20,000 plus views. Spotify, it's none of unless we're Taylor Swift or Beyonce or whatnot, none of us are going to make any money off
No.
Spotify anyway. So there's social media guy I work with, one of his things is he really wishes Spotify would just take down the thing that shows to the public what the listening numbers are, because everyone is
Yeah.
just chasing numbers,
Yeah.
and it's very difficult. I mean, on the one hand, I guess you got whatever it is, 500,000 songs a day or something being uploaded to Spotify, but so we charge on again. A lot of it I do for my own joy because for I guess when we stopped the first time around '89 until 2019, I was doing nothing, and so I just blasted out, and we found an audience in lots of strange places. It's not just people who have been collecting CDs since 1986 kind of thing. We have a massive following of middle-aged women in North America and people in Brazil, bizarrely. So anyway, they seem to
Yeah.
enjoy it. We blast it out. We're having a great time, and we'll keep doing it.
Brilliant. Do you ever come across honeymoon suites? Because they're like quite huge in Canada, aren't they, as well?
Yes. So Derry Grant from Honeymoon Suite actually played a guitar solo on one of our songs on Twice.
All right. Okay.
And actually, I am going to see them uh, sometime in November, I think. So yeah,
Right.
they're still around. They do a lot of. They're an Ontario group as well. So
Yeah.
uh, I have had the opportunity to see them on many occasions, and it's great to see this kind of music still out there. And Johnny still has his
Absolutely.
voice, and it's wonderful.
Absolutely. It really is. Um, so are you guys having a release party? Did you just hit on that? Are you going to be having a release party?
So again, we're a little bit different than a normal band because like for this song, we have a video for every song on the record. And
Right.
we have done 3 seasons of this now, and it's a continuing set of characters played by the same actors playing out a story. It's almost like a mini TV series essentially at this time point. It's
Right.
just 7-minute episodes. And so it's a combination release party, and then in the acting field, you always have a wrap party after you're finished your play or your movie or whatever. So yeah, that's all going together. So yeah, Sunday night, there'll be a lot of loud people in downtown Ottawa.
Brilliant. Um, so you guys started as a band back in the 80s, which is like the best decade. Are you glad you started in the scene back then rather than these insane days now?
Sorry, say that again.
Are you glad you started back then in the 80s rather than in today's insanity?
Um, I am, I guess, because it put the creative spark in my body and got me, especially for the first 2 records, a whole lot of songs written. The band now, other than myself, has very little relation to what we were doing back in the late 80s. That was 3 guys playing in a bunch of basements and barns,
Yeah.
and you know, we would record our demos by we'd have the equipment set up, and I had a simple like 8-track mixer, and I don't know if we actually hit play and record at the same time.
Right.
But that left me with songs from back then, which then 30 years later or whatever it was, allowed me to use that as a basis to get started again. So I am glad we got started then. I mean, my love for this genre of music certainly got its, I mean, it was everything back then, right? It's not like it was now. I certainly as
Absolutely
a,
not.
and that like when Nirvana and Soundgarden came along, like that was part of why that I could never get into that because for me, and it comes out in my writing. Almost all of the stuff is about love lost and found, relationships, guy girl stuff, and I just couldn't relate to the things that the grunge bands were putting out. It just didn't make any sense to me. So I'm glad I grew up then when I did that put the love of this kind of music into my brain and my creative spirit, which then comes along now.
Absolutely. So you reformed, was it in 2013?
2019.
Sorry,
Right,
2019.
right before something else happened in the world. I don't know. Something went on for 3 years. I don't remember what that was now.
Right,
But yeah,
yeah. So you reformed
2019.
in 2019. So COVID sort of like responsible for you guys getting back together. So something good to come out of it, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
well, it, it's funny. Yeah, so we came back 2019, and how it came about. My now ex-wife had gotten me because I always sang over the years, and she'd gotten me a gift, which was go record a song at a local Ottawa studio. So I went down
right,
there with my trusty binder of songs from that I'd written
right.
back in the 80s, and they were like,
Of
"Yeah,
course.
no, 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 no. Here's our binder of songs. It's songs by Brian Adams and the Cars and Queen or
Yeah,
what. That's
yeah.
karaoke." And the lady said, "Okay, I tell you what, maybe there's something here because our engineer who's in today actually owns his own studio and is a guitar player. Maybe we can hook you guys up." And so the guitar player ended up being Miguel Monton, who is now our guitar player. So I went over to his studio. We did a first one, which was just acoustic guitar, him singing, me. We're like, oh, this actually sounds really good. Had him re-record a bunch of the songs from back in the day, but with sort of modern recording equipment before my analog tapes fell apart. And then we were like, okay, this is actually really good. We have 4 songs. There's 10 on an album. I was naive then. I didn't think it was 15. It was only 10.
Yeah.
Why don't we do this? And so we had literally started recording the drums. And I was over at his place in February 2020, and he coughed. I was like, are you sick? Anyway, the world obviously exploded from there. The one very useful thing for us with COVID times was in terms of reaching out to Jeff, to Paul Lane, to Harry Hess, to Mark LaFrance,
Yeah.
and so on. Everyone was at home. Everyone had their home studio. They were not on the road. They had nothing to do. Well, they had stuff to do, but like lots of time that they wouldn't normally. And it was great to be able to network and get all those guys into our camp. And I'm friends with a whole pile of them now, which 18-year-old me could not have imagined.
Amazing, especially do work with Harry Hess. Does he? He doesn't make an appearance on the album, does he?
Yep. Harry is on backing vocals on a bunch of the tracks once again.
All right. Okay, that's brilliant. Yeah, I didn't think he was. I didn't. The promo sheet didn't say his name on there.
Oh, all right. I'll have to talk to Elio about that then, because Harry. I was literally we were doing a song last night. We were doing the video for it, and there's a part in it where Harry is standalone in the vocals. So
really,
so I'll have to talk to my PR guy.
Let me just check. This definitely doesn't.
It may have been missed, but no, he's definitely there. In Another Life was the song we were doing the video for last night.
Yeah, it doesn't say that. Yeah, that's why I wondered if I wasn't too sure. Okay.
No, Harry's great. He worked with us on the drums on the second record, and most of this year he's been down in Nashville doing a bunch of mastering and conversions. And I think there's a new Harem Scarum album that everyone's waiting for as well.
Brilliant. Yeah, I like his solo stuff that he's done as well. It's really good stuff.
Yeah, Harry's good. He doesn't have all the hair though. Like none of us do, I suppose.
No, we don't.
Only Slipping Away video was awesome just for the sheer amount of it.
I know that feeling. All right. So then who would be the ultimate band to go out on a tour with then?
Sorry, say again?
Who would be the ultimate band to go out on a tour with?
Oh boy. That's a question I've never actually thought about before. I mean, I am quite keen on this thing that we're putting together because it's 4 or 5 different bands, which will appeal to a lot of different people. That probably the 2 that I love the most are ones that are simply impossible. One is Bad English, which that is not ever going to happen. The other was a band out of, I think it was Mississippi, called Blue Tears, which really gave me my love for backing vocals. And if I had my druthers, it would be to play with those guys. I mean, the obvious thing to say is like Journey, Survivor. I mean, it's any of those kind of bands. I mean, again, you mentioned Honeymoon Suite before. I'd love to do stuff with them. Boulevard is another Canadian band where Mark Holden, the saxophone player, is a very good friend of mine. That's another one that would be very much in our genre, and I'd enjoy a great deal.
Okay, that's brilliant. So do you ever have, I mean, they're a lot heavier. Have you ever had any dealings with Anvil?
No, they are, they're much more in the metal space. And it's funny, the both our video producer and director are both metal artists, and we've had to tame them down to do our stuff. And I don't know, but I mean, metal's great. The closest I will get to that, I think, and you'll probably say, no, that's not metal at all. I saw Hailstorm last week, and Lizzie Hale has quite a scream to her. But the death metal stuff, I mean, it's kind of like Nirvana to me. I have trouble understanding it, and
yeah, there's some of it's all right. I know. Okay, then. So if there was like a made-up song about yourself, your personality, what would it be called?
The made-up song about me and my personality was the final song on album number 2 called "Don't Fall in Love with a Dreamer." That is probably the most autobiographical song that I've ever done. And at one point, I had met somebody and we were dancing around, are we going to date with each other or not? Or date with each other? Are we going to date each other or not? And I'd sent over to her that song because it was just about to be released. I just said, "This is a beautiful song, but I have a word of advice. If you and I don't work out, don't ever send this to somebody you're looking to date. It literally says, don't fall in love with me." And the underlying theme of it, of course, is please do fall in love with me. But
Yeah.
that is probably it. It's my theme song right now, though, and it goes back to what you're saying before about the 15 songs and all that sort of thing, is it would be some, I can't think of the song title off the top of my head, but my theme at the moment is they can't catch me if I don't stop running. And so that's why we keep just churning out more and more and more and more and more. And the lead single actually from album number 4 next year is literally called Run With Me. So it's a
Right.
long.
I think it's mad that you've already got like albums already for next year. That's crazy.
Mhm. Yeah, if I mean it, because there are so many songs and because there are so many parts, like a typical Fatal Vision song, and Endless Emotions would have even more than this, but a typical Fatal Vision song will have about 96 backing vocal tracks mixed in on it. So
Wow.
if like we have to go now or it won't get done in time. And I mean, there's obviously budget things that come along with that. I realize we're really not typical because a typical band, they make, I don't know, $7,000 or $10,000 to record an album, and they go into a studio and they get it mastered
Mm.
locally, and then there's 3 videos of guys in a warehouse lip syncing to us. So especially with the videos and the social media stuff, it's a whole production to get a record
Yeah.
out. So we will finish this one. And I was actually panicking a couple of months ago that we were behind. And so I flew to Italy to do some more songs with Alessandro. Mike Schotten from Von Groove, I discovered, lives just down the motorway from me here in Toronto. So I went out to his
Right.
house and did a song. Flew to Vancouver to do some writing with Mark Holden because we're not going to be done in time. But yeah, so number 4 is recording, is actually the drums. We started recording those in Montreal last week.
Okay, that's amazing. So if you could have like a super group of musicians with you included, who would be in your band?
It's pretty much the Lost and Found band that I mentioned earlier. The beautiful thing is I actually get to do it, and it's really bizarre. Like we were recording videos in LA, and I'm literally standing on a stage. I look to my left, and I'm literally with back like this, leaning on Phil X. I've got Leland Sklar over here, Ron Wixo panning the drums behind me, and Alessandro over here, and then again Jeff Scott Soto pops in just to say hi for lunch. So
Yeah.
I'm living it. It's my life is incredibly bizarre. I'm incredibly fortunate, and I could never have imagined this. So, and that's, it's a funny thing to have a question, what would your dream be? And I'm like, it's already here.
All right. Okay then. So after, as we just had the American elections, Mount Rushmore has the presidents. Which 4 musicians would be your Mount Rushmore?
Sorry,
Which musicians would be your Mount Rushmore? 4.
oh, um, hmm. I would say John Wetton, Jonathan Cain, Carl Palmer, and Leland.
Brilliant. That's a great answer. All right, then can you tell us why we should check out 3 times?
Sorry, you broke up again. So
Can you tell us why we should check out 3 times Lucky?
I think there's stuff on there that should appeal to almost everybody. I mean, we've got big summertime songs like 3 Times Lucky, Time of Our Lives, which was both a lead single and there's a duet version of it.
Yeah.
We actually get into hair metal on the second side with One Wild Night, which was a lot of fun to film the video. There's the big ballads that we tend to do. There's mid-tempo stuff, the same sort of tempo as Hysteria. I think it's just, for me, I always try and design these records as if I was in 1987, what would I want to hear on the radio?
Yeah.
And some of the early records, there was a website in Belgium where there's a bunch of reviewers. They're like, "Oh my God, he doesn't have a high pitched voice like Steve Perry. It's like a bad pop punk singer." Okay, whatever. Here in Canada, the AOR scene was, I mean, you had the high pitched singers and you had baritone singers, and it was all over the place. So I think, as I said, there should be something for everyone on there. Who we try and appeal to really is women in their 40s and 50s, and then guys who don't understand what happened in 1991, and the music they used to listen to was just gone. They don't know that who the lead singer of Journey is. That right now they don't know, that blah blah band is still recording. It's not like the Uber fanboy type stuff.
Yeah,
But those are really the people we're after, and it's always very touching to get the reaction from these people who are outside our genre,
yeah.
where they say, "Oh my God, this is what I've missed."
See myself, I mean, like I got into metal when I was 11 years old, 1981. I didn't really get into thrash at all until I was a lot older. AOR, White Snake, bit of Harry Hess stuff like Hair and Scare and stuff like that. And then 91 hit. And I can remember it was on Raw TV, and it's the first time Nirvana was ever shown with Smells Like Teen Spirit. And I was like, and then I don't know. I've got some Nirvana CDs, and I still love Alice in Chains, but I never go back to Nirvana. So I know what you're saying, and it gave music industry a kick up the backside, but then it just, it was like Motley Crue. They tried to do Generation Swine, try to go grunge. Warrant tried to go grunge. It just didn't work. But it's just great to see that bands like yourself and Honeymoon Suite are still going. It's good to know.
No, I mean, what happened then? I used to blame Nirvana, but it's
Mm,
not. It's the record companies, it's the
yes,
record
of course.
industry. And they just decided, okay, yes, last week, Warrant and Winger had 50,000 people in a stadium, but screw all that. We're blowing everything up. And it's not
It
just the
did.
AOR, like the entire 80s scene. It was
The
like,
whole of it.
okay, none of this,
Yeah,
wipe it all away.
it did.
And
Yeah.
yet now, like I go to concerts, I go to a Journey concert, I go to a Dennis DeYoung concert, I go to see Def Leppard, and it's packed. And you
Yeah.
turn around and everyone's got their phones up as if it's the lighters from days of yore. We actually, this will surface at some point. We actually did a cover of Smells Like Teen Spirit, where where we have power chords, we have piano, we have banjo, we have a guitar solo, and we have whoa type backing vocals, which
I think actually, yeah. I mean, I think might work, mightn't it? You never know. You have to have the old guy with the mop bucket, though. Yeah.
yeah.
And the
And then,
cheerleaders.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Okay, so now it's just like 5 questions, either or either. So the first one, do you prefer festivals or small intimate gigs?
Festivals,
All right, maple syrup or beer?
maple syrup, much healthier.
It is. I was going to say bear or what was I going to say? Raccoon. Bear or moose?
Bear or moose? Am I running into them in the wilderness or seeing them at a zoo? I'll go with moose. These seem very Canadian, other than the first one.
But they are. That was the idea. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So the fourth one is thinking of I'm going to do this. Okay, my brain's not working. Right, ice hockey or soccer?
I'm going to go with hockey. I realize in Europe football is a much bigger thing. For me, I struggle with football because 2-0 is a high scoring game.
Right. And the final one is Donald Trump, Justin Trudeau, or Kermit the Frog.
Sorry, what? Dustin Trump, Donald Trump.
Definitely different people. Donald Trump, Justin Trudeau, or Kermit the Frog.
Oh, I mean, you got to go with Kermit. He's feeling green all the time. It's Justin Trudeau has very nice socks, but no, I would go with Kermit. It's not easy being green after all. And Dave, oh yeah, no, I mean, there's anyone who doesn't answer Kermit to that should be chucked.
Absolutely. Well, the future's bright. The future's orange, apparently.
In America, anyway. Yep.
Apparently. All right. Well, I want to thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you have any final words for your fans, of viewers, and listeners?
I don't know why I'm speechless. Of course I should. So I really would encourage folks to check out the new record. Like I said, there are a lot of different sounds on there, which I think would appeal to any number of people. For people who are interested in this sort of thing as well, like I said, the videos they are a TV series at this point. And like I have friends who are metalheads who are like, oh, when's the next episode coming out? My wife really wants to know what happens to character number 4. The other thing I will just put out there, which we haven't really talked about, we did a tour of the UK in the summer, and we did a festival called Woodstock in Whitwick, which was down in, I think it's Leicestershire. And there were 2,000 people out there, and that I got there and was like, oh my goodness.
Was that last year?
In August. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's just organized by the local council or something, but anyway, we got on the bill there, and that was such an eye-opening experience because in Canada, this sort of scene is not very big, and so you go to festivals there, you go to outdoor concerts there, and it's a smattering of folks who are out in the park that day. But walking out there, and there were 2,000 people, English people, who would have had no idea who we were, and we had a blast of a time. So keep an eye out, because I think this tour we're putting together with Alessandro, once we get it going again, probably late next year, it should appeal to a whole lot of your audience.
Okay, yeah, that sounds amazing, man. On your press thing, that doesn't say anything about that either. That maybe you should say about that. I mean, because I just presumed you were just like Canada or USA. Yeah, that's amazing. I'll check that out. I've not heard of that. Was there an American band there as well, like a metal band? I don't know what they call. Because I know there's something down that way.
It was mostly in Whitwick. It was mostly local groups.
Right.
There were some other acts with us that were part of this touring ensemble that had been put together, but not metal. There was a southern rock band, a couple of rappers, and a folk group. So it wasn't a festival like an AOR or a metal festival. It's an African music for people in Leicestershire kind of thing.
Right, yeah, because I know there's like a big festival in Oxford that it's American band go to, but it's not like a metal festival. Well, I'll check it out. But yeah, definitely. Well, hopefully you get back over then and do a tour.
Yeah, would love to. Yep.
Did you have to like borrow equipment, or did you bring all your equipment over with you for that?
No, I think other than maybe some cymbal heads or snare heads or something like that, everything we rented in the UK. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as part of that, actually, we recorded. So, but for Fatal Vision, there's a song on this record, as you'll know, called "All Roads Lead to London." So we recorded that in London, obviously, because
how can I see that as well?
The footage actually, well, you'll be able to see footage from the UK tour, because we use that as part of our final video this coming year called "Thank You Very Much, Good Night."
Right.
And then we did a cover of a Boulevard song called "Rainy Day in London" at a church in Paddington while we were there as well. So we definitely made the most of our time. But yeah, no,
that's amazing.
Like that,
all right.
UK is where I was born. London is my home, so we'll definitely be back.
The sting of the rain. dust flows away. Memories for another day. Remember